One of the biggest ongoing stories in West Bloomfield is a recent altercation that took place at a local Planet Fitness location where on Wednesday a man was violent towards the staff and attempted to injure a West Bloomfield officer with his car before being arrested. Scott Mong, the deputy chief of the West Bloomfield Police Department, joins us now on the Splash Live to tell us more. Scott, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Morning.
Absolutely. Glad to have you with us. Now, just in case there are some people watching that are not aware of this situation, could you go through what took place on Wednesday and what you witnessed from the police department side?
Sure. Good morning. Thank you for having me. So Wednesday morning, about 9:30 a.m., our dispatch center for the police department received a 911 call from an employee over at the Planet Fitness location, Maple and Orchard Lake, here in West Bloomfield. The employee was indicating that there was a male subject inside the establishment that was assaulting staff members and had gotten into a confrontation verbally prior to that with staff and also some patrons. And it escalated to the point where the subject had physically assaulted some staff, and then he picked up a steel piece of an exercise machine and was swinging it around, threatening people, threatening staff with that object. He threw that object and then ran outside, entered a vehicle in the parking lot, and at that point, the police, one of our officers had arrived and had gotten out of his patrol vehicle and approached the subject's vehicle on foot, ordered him to stop and to get out of his car. The subject disregarded the officer's orders, failed to do that, and turned and drove directly at the police officer, striking him. Fortunately, the officer took evasive action and moved out of the way, was very courageous in that endeavor. Fortunately, he was struck, but he was not seriously injured. He was able to get back into his police car and pursue the male subject in his car in the parking lot. A second collision occurred when the responsible person smashed his car into our patrol car and then continued to flee southbound in the parking lot, struck another patrol vehicle that had entered the lot and was trying to apprehend him, smashed that car, and proceeded past him out onto Maple Road at a high rate of speed. Officer pursued the subject into a subdivision off of Maple, and the subject continued to evade officers throughout the subdivision for several minutes. Multiple units were able to, police units were able to get in behind the responsible person and were able to bring his car. Fortunately, through really good collaborative efforts, the officers were able to do this and get the vehicle stopped. And they were able to, after a struggle, the subject, after the vehicle was stopped, continued to physically resist officers, and he was ultimately taken into custody.
Wow, quite a lot for a Wednesday morning, it sounds like. So how is the officer right now? Is the officer okay?
Yes, he is. So he was transported to the hospital, and some tests were run. But yes, thankfully, he is doing much better now.
Okay, that is most important. Glad to know that everyone is okay. Now, I think you just touched on this a second ago, but you eventually cornered the perpetrator in a residential neighborhood. How did the officers manage to safely bring the high-speed chase to an end within the residential neighborhood and bring it to a slower pace?
Yeah, I'm not absolutely 100% positive on all the facts there. I do know that multiple units were able to kind of surround his vehicle and get him to the side of the road where ultimately he was forced to stop. And there was a vehicle to his side and kind of in front of him, as well as one behind. So he did back into one of the other officers. There was multiple crashes additionally that occurred inside the subdivision. So there's some pretty dangerous driving on his part to place.
Sounds like it. Well, it's good that everybody is safe. You said that the person is in custody right now. Is that correct?
Yes, he is.
Okay, well, we'll have some updates probably in the coming days regarding what's going to happen with the suspect. Do you have a message for the public and local businesses regarding safety and the swift police response in incidents like this?
Just really appreciate all the public's help in apprehending this person. So we've received numerous calls from people that had witnessed this, and many members of the public that were at the gym or near the gym were willing to step up and give their statements about what occurred, and we sincerely appreciate that. The officers, I cannot overstate, were very courageous and did a fantastic job in apprehending this very dangerous person that was committing numerous acts that were very dangerous to the public, and very proud of our officers and the way they handled themselves in this incident.
You should be proud, and we are proud of the work of the West Bloomfield Police Department as well. Scott, before we wrap things up, where can people go to submit any information or anything else that they might have witnessed during this incident?
Yes, the incident is, we're still investigating it. The case has been presented to the prosecutor's office, but we are still interested in taking any tips or any information from members of the public who may not have spoken to detectives yet. So they should feel free to please contact Detective Kazemchek by calling the main number for non-emergency number for the police department at 248-975-9200, and they can the call taker can transfer the caller to the detective's desk for additional information.
All right, that's the place to go if you have any information on this developing story. Scott, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me.